Hi everyone. Hi everyone. The session is starting, Gopal. So we are starting in a moment. And all right. Yes. Are you able to hear me? Everyone, you can reply using the chat. Let me test if you can. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So this is a public session. This is an open public session for everyone. Okay, this is not our typical class. This is not the usual class. This is an introductory session. In this session, we will have the overview and the course setup and basics about the what is machine learning, what is AI, and so on. Okay, so um, our usual class is a bit different. Our usual class, everyone who is attending can unmute and speak. And and in the usual class, I don't talk too much. Okay. Today's class, I'll be talking and you will be on mute and I'll be walking you through the entire course. But in the actual class, our actual classes are more like the gym class where you all do the exercises. Okay, so um, this will be a kind of a course overview plus ML, machine learning, and AI overview. And the a professor from IIT Roorkee will also be joining this class. So we are waiting for him to join. Okay, all right, wonderful. While everyone is joining, I would love to see your introduction. And you can give me a brief about yourself using the chat, and then we will start with our uh, discussion. Okay. I hope everyone can see my screen. Let me check if the YouTube live is on. Yes, YouTube live is on. Yes. Okay. All right. All right. So this is the format of the session. Sorry about it. I'm having itching in my eyes. All right. Okay. So feel free to ask questions using the chat or the Q&A, and would love to know you more. So we have Rajiv. Rajiv is an IT professional with 22 years experience and is happy to join this course to learn AI ML to get into my development practice and guide my team. Wonderful. Wonderful. And we have Shubham. Shubham has around 7 years of experience. For past 4 years, he has been working in a service now, mainly as a backend engineer. joined the program to upskill himself in the field of AI. Wonderful. Wonderful to know you, Subham. We have Shreya. Shreya is a BTech graduate and 3 years experience in experienced professional, and he's eager to join the course so that she can learn and grow in the field of data science. We have Deep Gotecha, and here's an introduction from Deep. I completed bachelor's. Instead, what I'll do is you can share with everyone instead of me reading. I completed bachelor's degree in information technology in 2021, and after taking 2 years break from the tech field as I was preparing for UPSC and now exploring the couple career opportunities in it. Wonderful to know you, Deep. Wonderful to know you, Ramesh. And wonderful to know you, Banshi. Wonderful to know you, Azim. And yeah, all right. All right. Wonderful to know you, Ash, Ashutosh, and Stuti, Gopala, Gopala Krishna, Chandani, and Azim Akhtar. Wonderful. Wonderful to have all of you here. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take out the introductions of everyone, put it in the WhatsApp group as well, so that we all know each other and we can interact with each other. Wonderful. Let's start. So Professor Manhas has joined. Welcome, Professor Manhas. Are you able to hear me? Okay. So here's a format. So this is more like a introductory class where IIT as well as us, they come together and we present the course to everyone. It's a very high level overview of the uh, course, and this basically marks, the starting of the first session. Okay. And then we continue the course from next week onwards. And in today's the agenda is that we talk about briefly about speakers and then about IIT Roorkee, about CloudX Lab. Then I'll walk you through the basics of data science, machine learning, and AI and how they're different, the data science and AI, the applications, and we will also talk about the typical workflow of building an ML project. And then we talk about careers in machine learning, and then we'll discuss about the Q&A. It's the session is usually 2 hours, and most likely it would finish earlier than that, but or it may finish more. It might take more time if you have more questions. Okay. And except for myself and Professor Manhas, everyone would be on mute. And please use the Q&A and the chat to ask questions. The recordings and the slides will be shared after the session. Okay. And this is an open session, and quite a few people are joining. So the faculty member from IIT Roorkee who will be teaching the course would be Professor Pravendra. Professor Pravendra has done his MTech and PhD from IIT Kanpur and is a faculty in computer science department. And he is very passionate about machine learning and machine learning research. He has quite a few papers published in this domain. Okay. Um, we have Professor Manhas. Professor Manhas is a professor and head of department for electronics and communication department in IIT Roorkee. He is also a chief investigator for ENICT Academy, which is part of IIT Roorkee. In past, uh, Professor Manhas has been a member technical staff at Micron Technology. He has a PhD from De Montfort University, and he has MTech from IIT Madras. And so Professor Manas, would you like to add something to it? You're on mute. Okay, probably some technical glitch. Okay, let me see if, oh, promote to panelist is still, okay, I'm moving him to panelist. Yes. Sir, are you able to hear me? Uh, you are now a part of panelist. Okay.
Yeah, Sandeep. Professor Manas has joined.
Uh, yeah, but I think there's
Uh,
some technical glitch.
there is some issue.
Yes, Professor, can you can you check if
Yeah, I'll check Sandeep.
okay? Everyone feel free to ask questions, whatever you have, using the Q&A window. You can see the Q&A window. Okay, wonderful. Great, great. And yeah, I'm so glad to see everyone's introductions. So I can see, yes, can you hear me, everyone? We have Professor Nilesh Joshi attending the course, attending the class. He's assistant professor in computer science department in Engineering College, Pune, and also a research scholar. Wonderful to know you, Nilesh. All right. Yeah. I'll, Professor Manas, I'm moving you to panelist, and then you can unmute.
Yes, Professor Manas
Yeah.
has joined.
Yeah. So,
How are you? Good.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can hear you now.
I'm very, very sorry. There is some problem because I changed my laptop.
Oh,
So I
okay.
hope now you can see me or hear me. I just finally then joined by phone,
Oh,
mobile
okay.
phone. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
let me say thank you and welcome to all the participants. I could hear Sandeep, but I was not able to actually communicate or my audio was not working. I
Okay,
hope
okay.
all of you can now hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so please carry on. Please carry on.
Yeah. So, sir, I gave a brief introduction about
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Would you
That's
like
great.
to
That's
add
great.
something?
So I mean, since I listened, I heard, I just say a couple of minutes I will spend. First of all, thanking all these participants for joining this program on data science and AI from EICT Academy and CloudX. And you already know about the detailed plan of this program. And the program is delivered jointly by a professor from IIT Roorkee
Mhm.
and then experts also from CloudX, and the support as well as the hands-on practice is jointly worked out, and we have gone into great detail in finalizing and meticulously looking into all the detailed curriculum and the lecture and hands-on plan, which Sandeep will explain. Professor Pravendra, who's my colleague at Computer Science and Engineering Department of IIT Roorkee, is our professor in this particular program, along with experts from CloudX, including Sandeep and others. And it's really a great pleasure and very happy to welcome all the participants. We are doing this program to give you kind of in-depth knowledge of application of data science in AI, and it will build a foundation to kind of create a next jump in your whatever objectives and career plans that you have. And the program is designed to run for almost 5 to 6 months, and the technical what do you call quality of the program and content is same as master's program in IIT. In fact, it is better because this program involves a lot of hands-on and interactive sessions, and we will give you assignments, projects. We will evaluate it, and there is also provision for I think a visit to a campus visit to Roorkee. Is that right, Sandeep?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, you will enjoy this program, and I'm sure that IIT Roorkee, being a very well-known institute, has partnered with CloudX, and this program will be of great, immense value, potential, and contribute go a long way in creating a right sort of next what do you call move in your professional lives. So with this, IIT Roorkee needs no introduction, and IIT Roorkee is the oldest institute, and we are consistently ranking, even in World QS ranking, we are 300 plus. And let me tell you that these rankings are somewhat biased because of these perceptions. If you take out the perception factors, all the IITs, including IIT Roorkee, will figure in top 100 institutes. I mean, the perception is built by Western countries, and they have very different ways of evaluating perception. But we are the top institute. We publish, we have state-of-the-art labs, and once you visit the campus, whoever plans to, you'll appreciate that. Yeah, is there any other slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, and these are some of the our accolades and achievements, and we are very proud that we are doing well, and we continue to be among top fifth or sixth IIT nationally, and also top institute in the world. And I'm very confident that by the end of the program, you will appreciate kind of quality and training and upskilling that you will achieve, and definitely impact that will create in the form of certificate and learning in terms of your next career plans. So with this, I will not take too much of time and hand it over to you, Sandeep. Um, we at EICT Academy, I have a strong team, and anytime you have face any issues, feel free to reach out to us. Of course, CloudX and Sandeep's team are always actively engaging with you. But still, if you face any difficulty, reach out to us. We'll be happy to work out any issues that you might have during this program, or we'll definitely look forward to your feedback as to how this program can be improved further. And this particular initiative is also our vision to make difference in the professional career of working professional, because the way the rate at which technologies are changing, new technology get introduced. So it is always important to to for the working professional to upskill themselves to acquaint with the latest in their technologies. So this is where we partnering with CloudX have created this program, and I'm sure that this will have a great impact going forward in your professional careers. And thank you very much. And we look forward to very engaging and very sort of fruitful next 4 to 6 months. And wishing all the learners, all the professionals out there, all the best and very happy learning experience. Over
Yeah.
to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Our relationship with the EICT IIT Roorkee has been, I think, more than 5 years, and we have
Yeah.
been very successful in establishing this course. And we have, this course has evolved over a period of time. In the current shape, this is a very fundamental course, a very fundamental course. It starts from the basics of algorithms. And the current focus of the course, after a lot of iterations, I realized that what we need to learn as individuals, as professionals, is as uh, as the AI is evolving, what we need to know is the fundamentals of algorithm design, right? So essentially, the entire course is about building algorithm for machine learning and AI. And the way we learn is by the way of invention. So everyone invents on the way to the success. So everyone starts from like, for example, given two data points, you build a straight line through them. So that's like the zeroth example of creating a machine learning model that you learn from the past, apply in the future. So the entire course is designed in a way that everybody learns by inventing. Okay, and that's the true form of learning. And the entire course, like you will be building your own algorithm to train machine learning models. You will be building your own neural networks. You will be everything you'll be doing by yourself. Though in reality today, you may never have to type a code because of all the LLMs. Because LLMs can the chat GPTs can type the code for you, right? But knowing everything from an inventor or researcher's perspective is the way is the only way to learn. So during this class, you will do a lot of hands-on. We will also, for complex algorithm where I'll take long time to type the code, I will take help from ChatGPT in the live class, and you will basically get to learn how to learn using the ChatGPTs of the world. Okay, so with that, I want to move ahead. So about myself, I graduated from IIT Roorkee. I worked with companies like DE Shaw, InMobi, Amazon as a senior engineer. And I have largely worked on very large scale computing and machine learning. And I have been a AI leader and software engineer in general in top companies. I also founded three companies. The current one, Turno AI, is something that I'm running and it's doing very well. It's a platform whereby you can connect all the data sources and it does the data science work for you. So you can say that you don't no longer need to write the code. All you got to do is connect the data sources, ask questions. You may ask, then what's the point of teaching machine learning when AI is doing everything? Uh, the thing is that AI helps those who know how to get things done. Okay. If you can get things done by yourself, you will be able to use AI to accelerate your process. But if you do not know, let's say you do not know forecasting, how does forecasting work? Even when you have Chat GPT, right, you won't be able to get the work done, right? That's why it's very important to know how, like, know the entire process. You don't need to memorize the syntax. You don't need to memorize a particular library. You don't memorize a particular one particular algorithm. You got to learn, you got to learn the basics, the foundations, the whole mechanics, right? And basically, that's that's how I mean, that's why even though in future you don't have to type the code, but still you will have to know what's going underneath, right? Right. That was the answer to the question that people would ask, that why are we learning machine learning or AI, even though there is ChatGPT and all these things that can code, right? There's a common perception that why do you need to code in the time of ChatGPT? The truth is, you won't be able to get the work done unless you understand the subject, even with ChatGPT or even with Gemini or any other thing. Second, even when you got the result, you won't be able to verify whether it's correct or wrong. Okay? For that, you need knowledge. That's why my request, my humble request to everybody is to upskill themselves in AI. Now that, so I have been teaching machine learning and AI since very early. Even at the DE time, when we were at DE we did a lot of we called it numerical analysis. Now that's called machine learning. And then as part of this course itself, in 2019, we taught how to build Shakespeare. Okay. And that's what is the foundation for GPT. And that's what the foundation for ChatGPT. Okay. So it's very, very important now. It has become doubly important for everyone to learn machine learning. And the way you learn is not by memorizing the libraries, not by memorizing, not you don't have to become an expert at TensorFlow. No. You don't have to become an expert at Python. No, but you have to become an expert at algorithm design or algorithmic thinking. You should be able to think, how would I build an algorithm to solve something? Okay. And even though I can give you the whole gyan on flowcharts, like this is how you can think about algorithm, but no, that doesn't work. Instead, the way you would learn is by the way of inventing. I'll give you small sets of problems, very simple problems, and you have to solve them in my class, and that's how you would learn. Okay. So at CloudX Lab, the vision is to upskill engineers, and we have a nice playground whereby you can go there and you can see the problem statement on the left hand side and a notebook on the right hand side, and you have to solve these problem statement in the lab, and basically, and the system will automatically check your work the moment you submit your answer, and it will give you the feedback. So, so for Python, the one that's the beginning one. So for Python, you must solve the Python course. Okay. Though for many of you, it'll be very, very easy. So you can just escape quickly and go ahead and move forward. But those who are beginning with Python, you will find the content in the course to be much more useful. Okay. And you'll be able to utilize the live class. You will be able to utilize the live class for Q&A and discussions and hands-on exercises. Okay. So that'll be, the way to learn. You basically have to you go to LMS, the learning management system. In CloudX Lab, if you see my courses there, you'll see your exercise on the left hand side, you will see the exercise on the right hand side, you will see the playground. All right. Then not only that, so CloudX Lab is an online cloud-based lab. Okay. It was basically like we created it because people were finding it difficult to experience the live, experience the real world environment. Okay, because the way we have seen the environment at, I have seen the environment at D Shaw, in Mobi, at Amazon, even my own company. Basically, that kind of environment is not available for students or for the people who are from non-tech background. So therefore, it was important to provide everybody an environment. So you get a very real environment, which is a combination of all the Linux tools available to you on the cloud as well as the big data tools available to you. Okay, so you can do the data engineering, data science, big data, machine learning, and DevOps on the cloud. Okay, and the all the technologies, let's say you want to practice Git, so Git is already there. You want to practice something else. All of that is there in the course, and the lab is also available to you. It provides you centralized data set along with real world experience and seamless experience. And yeah, you also have something like a social profile where you basically see the lots of people can see your progress, how well you are doing, as well as there is a forum on which you can have the discussions. Okay, we keep on posting the jobs, and right, I myself have launched something called internship, and the internship is for my Turno, the company that I'm running called Turno. For Turno, what we are doing is we are having the interns, and interns take up verticals. So somebody works on manufacturing projects, somebody works for healthcare project, and so on. And for each of these verticals, what you do is you basically come up with, let's say, five problems to solve, and then you use Turno to build the machine learning or data science project. Okay, so this that Turno internship I would offer to my student, right? And I'll give the priority to the people who are in my class or who have been in my class, and but I would still, for this particular class, I'll still wait for you to finish like the basics of machine learning. So once you have finished with the basics of machine learning, then you can join my internship. And in the internship, you'll be basically building the case studies for one vertical at a time. Okay, so and we have the job, portal whereby you can post. We will keep on posting the job opportunities, and you will apply there and so on. And then we have something called exams where we conduct something. We conduct exam. We call it placement eligibility test, and you give the test. If you perform well, we connect you to the recruiters. Now, okay. So, all right. Let me see your questions before moving forward. Wonderful. Okay. Um, Tejvi, we like once after the session, let's share everyone's introduction on WhatsApp group as well. Okay. And yeah, I love to know everyone in much more details. Uh, and yeah, uh, we have nice introductions of people. Okay. We have Sukant having 30 years of experience in software design and so on. And we have okay, you have Chandni. She's very okay. Let me read it properly. So so from Chandni, is this course for beginners? Okay, this is a question, not actually the introduction. Question from Chandni is that is this course for beginners in data science and AI? Because I'm from electronics background and hence very little knowledge about the course. Yes. So Chandni, this is a course for beginners as well as for senior people. And the way the course goes is, right? See, the lucky part is that everyone who has been even in industry, they have either forgotten or they have not studied the basics of algorithm design. Okay. And even people who had the computer science in their education, many of them have not studied the things from the inventor's perspective. So this course is for this course, because this course is an algorithm design course from end to end, and we'll go till deep learning, reinforcement learning, and everything. So this course assumes that you are absolute beginner. Okay. But having said that, you will all have to work hard. Okay. You will have to solve lots of exercises from the course. and you'll have to solve lots of projects, and you'll have to dedicate probably 1 to 2 hours per day in order to come up and running. Okay. All right. Let me see if, okay, if there is any other. There was a question from Bharta there about, can you give info about ENICT? ENICT is like a center inside IIT Roorkee, run by IIT Roorkee professors, and essentially it's part of IIT Roorkee. Just like we have continuing education, similarly we have electronics and ENICT Academy. Similarly, ENICT Academy is also funded by the government of India to upskill people. Okay, so yeah, all right, wonderful. A question from Indu is, can I participate in placement activities even if I'm working in an organization, unless your organization is paying for the training? Okay, so if your organization, so in the cases, let's say some companies, what they do is they basically put the candidates in my course, right? In those cases, we do not include the individuals for the placement part. Okay. Gautam's question is, how many students are enrolled in this class so far? I do not know. You will see in the class. Okay. All right. But we have decent number of students. All right. No more questions. Let me see the Q&A more. Okay. Question from Anubhav is, should we learn Python before attending the sessions? Here's the thing. So um, you have to start learning Python as quickly as possible. Okay. But when the course starts, the course will again do a little recap, not full detailed recap, but you'll have to work with me. You'll have to work with me during the week to finish the Python exercises. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, the more computing you do, the better it is. All right, Anubhav. Okay, wonderful. All right. So, yeah, you have any other question? Okay, I have allowed you to talk, Anubhav. You can speak. Okay, I think his question is answered. A question, very good question from Gautam. Question is, do we need to refresh maths and statistics for this course? I will guide you. Don't worry. Okay, I would assume that, right, nobody has any background in math. The reason is the kind of maths that is needed for the course is very different from the kind of maths that we have studied. For example, talk about calculus, right? The way we have studied calculus is very different in the sense that we know how to calculate, we know the formulas of differentiation and everything, but we do not know how to differentiate a Python function. You have functions in Python. How would you write code to differentiate another, to find the first derivative of a Python function? So the way we studied math was without the computing, right? Without the calculations, right? In this course, since maths and computing are merged together, we will learn maths in a new way. Like, for example, how would you write a code to solve two equations, right? We all studied We have all learned how to solve equations using pen and paper, equations in X and Y, right? But how would you make the computer do it? Okay. Similarly, if you have n number of equations in n number of variables, how would you make the computer do it? So you'll need to think in terms of algorithm, right? Similarly, how would you find out if the factors, or let's say LCM or HCF of two numbers, right? So we will learn to design algorithms by the way of solving those mathematical problems. Okay. And with that, you will learn maths, you will learn coding, you will learn data structures, you will learn the overall algorithm design for machine learning. Okay. So by the way of solving these simple problems in code, we will learn all the things in a single shot, right? We'll solve some problems in math, some problems statistics, and that way you will learn like basics of Python, you learn algorithm design, you will as in the algorithms and data structures, and then you will also learn machine learning on the way. Okay. So that's why the course is very, very fundamental focused. Okay. And and this this basically is your time to improve your ability to think about algorithms. Okay, so you have to work with me, and we will basically just break down every hard problem. Let's say I want to teach you how to build neural network, right? I'll start with very simple question that you have two data points. How would you do this? Then we keep on increasing the complexity slowly, 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 and you have to keep on coding and solving the problem. And that way, you wouldn't realize that you have invented your own algorithm, right? As simple as that. In maths, if you think about how would you calculate, let's say, log, or how would you calculate a square root? Let's say you are supposed to build a library. You have to supposed to build a library function like a square root. How would you do it? We know the square root of 1 is 1, square root of 4 is, square root of, let's say, 9 is 3. What's the square root of 5? So I'll take a guess. Maybe it's between 1, maybe it's between 2 and 3. So I'll try 2.5, I'll try something, and I'll keep on doing that. Now you have to code it. And when you code it, you realize, oh, you have built an algorithm called binary search, right? Binary search, not binary research, binary search. So using binary search, you will learn to solve a square root. Then you'll use the same methodology to compute cube root. Then you'll use the same methodology to compute log. And that way you will be having a good time inventing while learning. Okay. Yeah. There was one question from Indu, how the evaluation will be happening in case of projects. So some of the projects in LMS, they are in CloudX Lab, you will see that these projects are auto-evaluated. The moment you submit the exercise, it basically evaluate your work. Okay. The moment you submit, you can just say, click on submit, and it'll check whether you have done it or not. Okay. All right. Yeah. A question from Anubhav is, can you please share the roadmap? I think that's a good idea. I'll talk about data science and everything soon. Okay. Let me give you a good walkthrough. Let me give you a good walkthrough. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So this is the standard curriculum that you would see here. Okay. But let me give you a simpler walkthrough. Okay. you can see my screen, everyone. I'll just give you a better walkthrough here. Okay. So the way the course would go is that a fair amount of time will go in learning, say, Python basics. Okay, right? So and with it starts with like maths basics. Okay. You will design your number systems and right, you will start doing right here maths and Python basics will go on. Okay. And then right, then basically some problems will have ML, maths, and Python and data structures and algorithms. Okay. So most of these problems that we will be solving here will be involving all sorts of ideas from everywhere. Okay. And so we start with maths basics, then Python basics. We'll learn how to do for loops and everything. But all of that we will learn, like Python, we'll learn by the way of combining the combining the maths exercises, right? Like for example, solve two equations, okay, and solve n equations, okay. Then we'll have more and more questions around maths and Python. And then once we are comfortable with the basics of Python, okay, then we move to the second set of exercises where you will do the machine learning, maths, Python, data structures and algorithm problems combined together. For example, you will see the questions like creating the decision tree. Okay. And here basically the basics of no, like right, some problems like information theory. Like there is one very interesting problem that we'll do in the class is how to compress the data. Okay. So this may sound very crazy that on the day one we are doing these kind of things, but you will you will learn a lot in in that. Okay. But I guarantee all of you will be able to understand this. So we start with maths basics, super basics, and then we'll go on to maths and Python basics. So here you will learn the basic constructs of Python, and then here you'll basically combine the all the ideas from everywhere to solve the machine learning and machine learning problems. Okay. And this would be one of, right, there'll be calculus, there'll be everything combined together. Basically there'll be very simple problems. I guarantee that all of you will be able to solve. If you're not able to solve, problem would be on my side. I'll try my best to make it such that everybody can solve these problems. And even if you have no background in maths, you have no background in statistics, and you have no background in others. Okay. So there is nothing statistics, separately. We are putting that as part of maths. Okay. And like statistics is nothing but basic counting. So, I mean, as long as you can count, you can do statistics. Okay. So that would be my take on things. And I would try my best to make all these complex ideas to be super simple so that once you have the feel of the fundamentals, rest is very easy. Rest is very easy. Okay. All right. And then there will be now after this, this is again the foundations part. All of these three things are part of foundations. Okay. Part of foundations. Okay. And then we will have the machine learning course by Professor Pravendra. And then there'll be a deep learning course by myself. Okay, so this will be the structure in which in machine learning we will cover the fundamentals like linear logistic regression. Okay, you will also see SVM, you will see decision tree, okay, and you will see dimensionality reduction, and you will also see ensemble learning. Okay, and then in the deep learning, and also here between these two parts here, right, you will basically, right, you will be basically learning the applications of programming in ML and AI. Okay, so there will be projects, right? Projects such as doing sentiment analysis, sentiment analysis using AI, and then there will be right another kind of project doing let's say object detection using AI, right? So using machine learning models and computer vision. So here, you'll be able to do the applications, right? You'll be able to, build right here, for example, building chatbot, right? Or you can say agentic workflows, okay, and so on. So yes, you'll basically learn all of that here, okay? So this is right. It may sound very crazy that foundations include the applications of programming, but the important part is that you all must learn how to use AI. So here you'll be able to use machine learning models or AI like ChatGPT API you will be able to use and get your work done. So most of the engineering you will be able to do after finishing this part. Okay? Like the typical engineering works in the companies that you'll be able to finish here, right? And then here, the first chapter that goes is called end-to-end project of machine learning. So there you will study the end-to-end project of machine learning, and that will make you super comfortable with 95% of the whole entire machine learning work. Okay, so this will be the plan. Okay, and then in deep learning, we will basically learn about the how to build your artificial neural network, essentially the backprop, the core algorithm. Okay, and yeah, you will actually code gradient descent here. Okay, you will actually code gradient descent here. Gradient descent is the core algorithm for machine learning. Okay, the then right here you will code your backprop algorithm. That's the main algorithm for neural network. Okay, and then after that you will learn CNN and RNN, the recurrent neural networks. Then you will learn autoencoders. Then you will learn reinforcement learning. Okay, and here will be NLP. Okay, so this is again here. This one will start with end-to-end project. Okay, so this is the overview of the course. Okay, and you'll be surprised that once you are through with the fundamentals here, right? Rest of these things become so easy. Rest of the things become very easy. Okay, so yes, this will be the flow for the class. Make sense, everyone? Any questions for me? A question from Puneet is, during the course, we will be using LLM like ChatGPT. If so, will be via CloudX Lab console or directly from LLM console? So, good question. So, you will be using your own ChatGPT with whatever way. Okay. And you're free to use any of that. But for some questions, I'll let you know. I'll let you know whether you can use ChatGPT for something or not. I'll basically specify that this thing you can take help from ChatGPT, this thing you should not. Okay? Because I want some muscle, some exercise on your body part, right? Like when you go to gym, you do push-ups, right? You do push-ups, and if you're not able to do push-ups, what you do is you do knee push-ups, then you do the after you practice the knee push-ups, then you do the main push-ups, so that it becomes easier and you build muscle slowly rather than immediate like you build the muscles gradually. So similarly, I would try to break down the problem statement, but for some things, I would strongly recommend that, okay, why don't you guys generate the code from ChatGPT and compare your approach with ChatGPT's approach? And can you also check if ChatGPT is giving the correct answer? Okay. So that way you'll build an instinct on what the ChatGPT can do and what it can't do. So you will build this instinct and understanding of ChatGPT, and also it'll also give you a lot of learning because ChatGPT gives you a lot of suggestions. Or not only ChatGPT, any LLM for that matter, whether Gemini or anything else. Okay. So, a question from Anubhav is, does this course cover any aspects of data analytics such as SQL, Power BI? So, SQL is available as part of the course module, but I'm not covering that, in the class. Okay, I'm not taking the live classes for the same. Okay, so you're free to use the tools. You're free to go through the course curriculum, but the SQL, I would actually recommend everybody to go through SQL. Okay, if you want to go to the industry. All right. But this is primarily the algorithm design course, so I'm kind of avoiding it. Okay. But yeah, you will learn lot of things as part of the course. Okay. A question from Sukant is, would we be covering the topics like building AI workflow using LangChain and so? I would say that I would leave that part to you, but we will have one exercise on building your chatbot and building your own agentic workflow. And then you will basically will be able to pick up any of the workflow tools available. Okay. Yeah. So my focus a lot of my focus is on fundamentals, just to make sure that you guys are comfortable with various tools. And once you're comfortable with Python, you can essentially just roll up your sleeve and just code it. Or just ask ChatGPT to generate code for all of these new tools, LangFlow, LangGraph, and then just go through it and you'll be able to handle all of that. These tools, the AI, all these tools will keep on coming and so on. And then you will basically be able to invent right your own frameworks like LangChain. Okay, that's my focus. My focus is that you should be able to think in that level where you can design large scale systems because the right because that's the primary focus of the courses. Okay, and I've shared on the chat. Okay, wonderful questions. Thank you, Shukant. And wonderful. Okay, so we'll have much more lively two-way conversation in rest of the classes. Today's class is basically overview, so it's not really very interactive. I really personally I'm waiting for the live class. Okay, while generative AI will be yes, of course, Shelly. So here the course focus is can we build our own chat GPT, right? That's the whole idea till here. Okay, that's the whole idea. And in the NLP part, here, we will build our own Shakespeare. Okay, we will build our own Shakespeare. Okay, basically build your own GPT. Okay, that's hard, yeah, right? That's hard. Like, for example, if you take a look at the our code repository on CloudX Lab, you will find do you see anything? Here. Okay. So this is the GPT from scratch. Okay. GPT from scratch, basically here we build our own GPT, as in the chat GPT from ground up. Just like chat GPT, we build it from ground up. Okay. Of course, it's a toy, but the philosophy is same. You can scale it by putting more hardware, putting more data, but the philosophy is same. Okay. So yes, we the course focus is that you would be able to invent on your way. Okay. You'll be able to invent on your way. And my primary focus is, right, right. Just as a good disclosure to all of you, my nephews, my own nephews, my very close friends, all are in this class. Okay, and and my objective is to make sure that that everyone is super successful in their career. Okay, so that's my primary focus of the class. Okay. All right. So work with me. My request to everyone would be don't consider this course like any other class or anything else. It's a it's a massive, um, very ambitious and massive course, and it's going to change your way of thinking. I will also learn on the way more things. And this is probably my 20th cohort, right, of the course. And every time the course is improved and I'm seeing wonderful results from my previous batches, right? People are able to invent, people are able to do wonderful to an extent that I'm actually very happy to hire my own students. Okay. And this is the first time that I'm realizing that I'm going to, I actually am have I'm much more confident in hiring my own student as compared to hiring somebody else. Okay, so that means that the course and the direction that we have taken is actually right. I'm like the students who I have hired in my company, a couple of months back. I'm seeing their outcome. I'm seeing their work. I'm pretty happy that they actually learned in my class. Okay, so so yes, I think this is going to be a wonderful journey for all of you, and it's going to be super fun. Okay, a question from Banshi is that are we going to discuss something, maybe at least one class around options around hosting these last stuff and non-functional stuff? Yes, there are a couple of projects in the course, self-paced project. These are called self-paced guided project, where you can basically it shows you how to host host machine learning models. Okay. And yes, whatever I said here, there will be changes to it, because as new things come up, I have to drop lots of old stuff. Okay, like for example, earlier the RNN chapter used to be very big, but now I had to drop like 90% of RNN chapter because people are not using RNN. Instead, people are using attention. So we will change the RNN chapter to attention. Okay. So, and similarly, if there's a need that I need to teach people how to deploy these things, we will have a separate class for that. Okay. And it's not like very much enforced that this is how it has to be. The general thumb rule that I follow is that my students, or the people from the class, the learners from this class, should become inventor. They should be able to feel and think about how machine learns, right? And that is the core objective. Okay, so we will include the topics or remove the topics as we go ahead, and there will be modifications to the method. Like in the last class, uh, what we did was, there were like somebody said to me in the class that, is this how really the decision tree, one of the models, work? And then what we did in the class was that asked ChatGPT to code decision tree. And then they said that, yes, this is exactly how they themselves invented the decision tree in the same manner. Okay. So they were like impressed that, yes, whatever they are doing is good because they themselves invented exactly same algorithm. So you will see that in the class there'll be more modifications and changes depending upon the new stuff that is coming up. And to be honest, this is the fastest growing research, right? If you see the right, if you see the amount of research that is coming every day as we speak right now is humongous. So we have to include the important stuff as compared to, right, we have to include all these important researches, and for that I'll have to change the curriculum whenever needed. Okay, I hope that answers everyone your question. Good set of questions. Good set of questions. A question is, where do we position ourselves in the IT industry after completing the course? What kind of roles, opportunities can we expect in IT industry? So you can expect to become an ML engineer. You can expect to become a data scientist. You can expect to become a researcher in the field. You can become, let's say, head of data science, depending upon your experience. I mean, that's how I'm just enumerating over what my previous students have done wherever they've gone, right? Some people have become like some people just continued their current job, right? One person, he was just continuing his current job as a program manager. And when he started asking questions to the data scientists about how would you do this, how would you do that, the company made him the head of data science in that organization. From program manager, he became the head of data science, and that was a interesting turn of events. So uh, you will find your way. Okay, you will find your unique values. Like you're pretty good. Let's say you have pretty good ability to communicate, and you're good with the program management, and you know the machine learning and algorithms. Now you will carve out your career in that direction very easily, because you'll be able to combine all the things together and say, oh, this is how it works, right? Similarly, let's say you are good, a very good SDM, like software development manager, and you basically also learned, and you're good with the software engineering, right? Then you could become like a principal machine learning engineer or something like that. Okay, so it's how you shape up your career by combining your skills and this knowledge that you gain in this class. Okay, so you'll be able to figure out new roles and new titles, and feel free to come up with a new title for yourself if you are in a startup. Okay. All right. I hope that makes sense. Okay. A question from Gautam is that I assume this class includes people with more than 15 years experience. They can't go back and coding etc. How do these people make use of this course in future? Yeah, good question. Good question. So, and the question is very important. The question is that for many senior people who don't usually code and who don't want to code, does it make sense to learn coding, right? The answer is yes. Okay, the answer is yes. I have seen in past uh, a grand success with the senior people who come with a very great experience of business development, of a lot of things. And when they gain the understanding of what's underneath, and when they get that intuition that what's underneath, they become unstoppable. They become like very, very powerful. They basically, you know, they become because their existing skills are not going waste, right? You can't forget your skills. You have 15 years of experience, you won't forget those skills. On top of it, you build the understanding of how the brain is built, how you can make a non-living thing a living thing, right? And how do you create AI? And when you have the combination of these two, like a experience in industry and understanding of the AI, you will figure out and you will rock. Okay. So to be honest, no, there's no such thing as coding job anymore. Okay. There's no such thing as coding job because typing work is done by machines now. Okay. But still, understanding coding is still required. Okay. Understanding algorithm design is still required. Okay. We all think that we can design algorithms and we are good at it. It's just that the construct is what you got to learn. Okay. Construct is what you got to learn. And therefore, I would say that come on this journey with me, you will have good time. You'll have good time. It'll, you may not code, but you'll be a different person. Okay. Yeah. And this motivation is needed from time to time because quite a few of us are in the same scenario. If you see, recently somebody posted that she was doing the physiotherapy course, and right, so I motivated her to work with me in the course and so on. She did marvelous. She's doing pretty well now. Okay, and yeah. So we are much more than my belief, underlying belief is that we are much more than our professions. Okay. We are much more how should I say, much more capable than our professions. Okay. Our professions are can change. You like professions are bound to change. Okay. And you have to continuously move on to new professions and you have to keep on moving to new professions. Okay. And right, it's not a justice for you or for anyone to stay in one profession for a very long time. Okay. Specifically in the new time, you have to be many things rather than just one thing. Okay. You have to be many things because it's an injustice to your capabilities. A question from Anubhav is how has the data science stream changed after AI? A lot. So it has become easier. It has become easier. It has become so easy that that uh, you know if you have an understanding of the terminology of the data science, and if you have like how does do things work, you can just get things done in minutes, right? In minutes. Okay. Not like years. The work that was done in years, now it can be done in a minute. And that's a beauty about that's a beauty about the industry. Okay. That's a beauty about the current state of industry. All right. So the data science has become much more easy. Those who know data science, they have become much more powerful. And therefore, it is very critical time for everybody to learn this. Okay? Because no matter which vertical you go in, computing, machine learning, AI, AI is in the large language models, all of them will be used in every industry, whether biotechnology, whether healthcare, whether any of these fields, right? Whether it's a manufacturing industry, whether it's an army, everywhere. Okay, computing, data science, machine learning, AI, all of these things will be used. Okay, so I want to just give you an overview about the terms that you use so that we become comfortable talking about these terms. Okay, and all right. So, what exactly is data science, right? Anything to do with data comes under data science, right? Data science is an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific methods like the core algorithm, the domain specific understanding of algorithms, the scientific, and the processes, algorithms, and systems, and so on. So anything to data is actually under data science. And it involves everything. It involves maths, it involves statistics, it involves calculus. That comes under maths actually. So it involves everything. So data science is an overlap of information science, domain knowledge, computer science, mathematics, statistics, and so on. Okay. Of course, statistics and maths are usually counted in the same bucket, but still. Okay. So the data science is a combination of all of these, right? And then the question that keeps coming is what exactly is machine learning then? Machine learning is the field in which you make machine learn by itself using the data. You have data, you make the machine learn from it, and that's what is called machine learning, right? Like the way we humans learn, we learn by examples, we learn by experience, right? So similarly, machine also learns, we make the machine learn by examples, right? Now, now you might ask right now that have we done this before? Okay. Let me ask you a simple question. Okay. Let me ask you a simple question. That when when you had x equal to 1, okay, let's say simple example, okay, say x equal to 1, y was 3, x equal to 3, y was 5, what will be y at x equal to 5? Yes, quickly. Right? That's correct. So it is 7, right? So now we were able to do it very quickly. We saw the pattern and we were able to do it quickly. Now, this is a standard exercise on machine learning, right? This is a standard exercise on machine learning. Now you see this. This is your data. This is your past experience, right? This is your past experience. Okay. X and Y. We learn from it. We learn from it. We learn from this data. And once we have learned from it, we apply the same thing here. Okay. And how do we learn this? We can say, okay, let's assume, okay, that our Y is some combination of X. Let's say M times of X plus C, right? We can say that our Y is an outcome of X. So this is our data. This is our data. We learn from the data. And what are we learning? We are learning M and C. What is the value of M? What is the value of C? And once we find that out, then we will use this. Okay. Right? So how would we learn this from data? How would we learn this data? Learn this from data? Okay. Let's see. Y equals to mx plus c. We don't know m, we don't know c, but we have this past experience. Using this past experience, we can find out, let's say, y equals to 3 equals to m plus c, and y equals to 5 equals to 3m plus c. Okay, so c is how much? You can subtract the first equation from second one. So you can subtract the first equation from second one. It becomes 2m equals to 2. So m is equal to 1 and c is equal to 2. So what's your equation? Quickly, x plus 2. Using that same philosophy, right? We can say here that, okay, how much will it be? For x equal to 5, 5 plus 2, and it's 7. Okay, so you see that this was our data. We learned from it. We found out what's the value of M and C. We call M and C to be weights and biases. Okay, and from that, once we figured out this part, then we put it here and we found the value. Make sense? Is it okay, everyone? So this was our data that for x equal to 1, y was 3. For x equal to 3, y was 5. We want to learn from this data, and we are saying that, okay, maybe my equation is y equal to something multiplied by x plus something. What are these somethings, m and c? We find that out from the data. So we learned the value of m and c from the data, and then we basically applied this equation for the new data that is coming, and that's what is machine learning. So this is called learning phase, learning phase, learning phase, and this is called machine learning, inference phase. This is called inference phase. Okay, this is called inference phase. Okay, so we had, like I gave you the zeroth example. This is like a very, very basic example. So we have a training phase. We call that training or learning phase. Training phase and inference phase. During training phase, we have to do this calculation, figure out all these weights and biases. These are called weights and biases. M is weight and C is bias. So we figured out these weights and biases. And once we have figured these out, that's what we call model. Okay. This what you see here, these two things is called model. Okay, I'm just taking very simple example in real world. In case of chat gpt, what's the data? The data from the internet. What is x, what is y? X is the input, y is the next word it speaks. Okay, and it has a big model having billions of these numbers. Instead of we have only two numbers representing our model, m and c. In case of ChatGPT, there are billion numbers, in that equation. And then there is an inference phase, which is when you are using ChatGPT, you are feeding the question, like the question, it produces one word, then it calls that, it puts it into the input, then it produces another word, and it keeps on doing that and gives you the answer. So your why is the next word to say. So ChatGPT takes, in case of ChatGPT, X is the question you are asking, Y is the next word it is producing. Okay, and it's producing using the model. Okay, did it make sense, everyone? Okay, let me further make it super clear. So in case of machine learning, you have two phases. One is called training phase. Okay, in training phase, you using the data you figure out model, right? You using the data or experience. Okay, okay, right? And in inference phase, we also call it testing phase. Okay, we have the model plus X gives Y. Okay, past data, when we say past data, it's essentially X comma Y, right? So like that. So in case of in the inference phase, we have the model, we put the X into the model, and model gives the Y. Okay, so the other way to look at it is X goes to model and model gives Y. This is inference phase. Okay, and what's a training phase? Training phase is you have X and Y coming to model, and it's giving, sorry, it's basically, sorry, it's not like this here. So this is the algorithm, right, which is producing the model. Okay, just like we solve two equations to find out M and C. Okay, like M and C was our in our example here, M and C. So this was our X and Y we fed to algorithm produced the model, and here we have let's say X and we are predicting Y. Make sense? All right, now let me go back to this. Okay, let's read through this. So, machine learning is a field of study that gives the computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Okay? No, the way we learned value of M and C automatically from the data, right? And it basically comes up with its, the logic by itself, right? Logic, like when we say logic is about converting input into output. Okay? Now, here is another complex process. Okay? It's a complex example. It's a complex example of Mario. Has any of you played Mario? Okay. Okay. Before I jump in there's a good question. A question from Sally is that maybe a silly question, but with no maths knowledge, why only M and C is used? Can it be A? Yeah, you feel free to put any variables, right? But M and C is the normal connotation of slope and intercept. That's why I used M and C, because most of the people are comfortable with M and C, because I think in ninth grade it's there in geometry, right? The equation of straight line. Yeah, that's the only reason. There's no other reason. A question from Banshi is, maybe it's too early, but when our model is ready with large data, is there any framework to measure the quality? What I see is traditional QA won't work and won't be sufficient to judge efficiency. Yes. So there are quite a few interesting ways of measuring the quality of the results. Take a look at as a quick measure. Take a look at, I think it's called Blue score. Okay. So just take a look at the Blue score. Blue score is one way to measuring the large language models method. Second is, in case of training the model, there's a humongous emphasis on testing your model, right? So the way people do is there is a extensive, you will see in the end-to-end projects when you build a couple of projects as part of the course, you will see that as part of every machine learning project, what do you do is you break your training data. You have the past data. What you do is you break it into two parts. One that you won't touch, you keep it to the side. Another with which you will build the model. And once you have done building, then you test on this test data. So that way you will know that your model is working. Okay? Just like when we are teaching somebody, right? We give them examples and exercises, and once they have learned it, then we take the test. Similarly, we do with the machines. Okay, we train them with examples, and some of the examples we keep it as holdout set, and then we check their quality by running it against the test. Okay, testing is an inherent part of a machine learning project. And you will see that. You'll see that a lot of engineering goes into figuring out testing. Okay, it's not an easy question. It's a hard question. There's a very decent amount of work that would go into, and we will learn it as part of the course. Okay, very good question. Very good question. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I hope everybody is on the same page. All right. So, who all have played Mario in past? Nobody? I think new generation may not have gone through this, but Anubhav had done. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Ashutosh, have you played Mario? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Mario Kart you have played. Okay. Ah, the new one. The new one. Okay. But here's a cool part. Just like you learn to play Mario or any game by yourself without somebody coding you, somebody telling you when you see this, do that. Do you think machine can learn by just playing it? Can the computer also learn in the same way? Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm going to show you this cool example. So, okay. So now here is the setup. Okay. Here is the setup. So the computer sees the screen, okay, and presses the keys, right? So the computer is going to basically gather the experience, okay? Gather the experience, which is the screen plus keys and giving the score. Okay, this is input and this is output, right? So this machine learning model would take the screen, what's there on the screen, plus the key that you are pressing, and it need to come up with best score. Or you can say, come up with the key that gives the best score. Okay, so this is an example of machine learning whereby the computer gathers this data, screen key and the score, screen key and the score, and the sequence of all of this. And then, and then what it will do is it would learn from it. Okay, and I'm going to show you. In the beginning, it won't do anything much. It's just pressing the keys randomly, and then, and then it just dying. You can see it's pressing the keys randomly and nothing happens. Dies of old age, and that's it. Few days, it's doing a little better. It's doing a little better. Yeah. Okay. It learned that if you just keep on jumping at some place, it'll just die of the old age. So from that, it learns to move ahead. Okay. And it is kind of stuck this time. And next time, from this whole data, it learned again, and now it is little better. You can see it is playing, it is having the intuition that, oh, there's something to jump over. So yes, it is having no problem at all. Okay. He has learned to play these basic tricks. You see that? Do you think he'll cross? Yes, it did. Okay. So it is having no difficulty at all in playing Mario. Okay, so it's learning from the experience by playing again and again. And there you go. You're going to see something amazing. What was that? You see that? There. Okay. So it figured out a bug in the system, right? The system is having a difficult time figuring out who is attacking who, right? In a collision, right? How would you detect? So it found the bug in Mario game that the moment Goomba is falling on you, you start moving so fast, okay, and you win the game. Okay, you see that? Yeah, look at this. So even though the Goomba is falling on it, it's able to, it's able to kind of play that. It's like in the movie Matrix. In the end, Neo is able to kind of break the Matrix, right? Similarly here, it found that even if the Goomba falls on you, it's not a problem. You can just move slightly downwards quickly and it's your point, and you won't die. So it found that bug, okay, by itself. I never knew of this. No, none of the researchers knew of this bug. Nobody coded it. It just kept on gathering data, playing again and again, again and again. And from past experience, the X and Y, based on all the experience, the model that it came up with is able to do all of this magic. Isn't that amazing? You will see another bug. Okay? You'll see another bug. What was that? It basically jumped back. Okay? It basically jumped back. It did not fall. Now, you'll see another sign of intelligence, right? Now, when basically it starts losing, it pauses the game. Yeah. So it kind of basically, when it couldn't figure out any other better strategy to solve it, it just kept the game paused so that its score doesn't go down. Okay. This is essentially how my cousins used to do in childhood when they are losing the chess game. They'll spoil the game and run away. Okay. And yeah, so that's how much powerful is that's how much powerful is learning from the data. So the program learned to play Mario and all other games without explicitly telling it what to do. All the researchers did was they connected the software program to the simulation or to the emulation, and it keeps on recording the screen, as well as it keeps on sending the keystrokes told by the model. Okay. And and it learned and kept on playing the game again and again, and eventually it figured out how to win that game. All right, is everybody on the same page? Any questions, everyone? This is a more theoretical class. In future, we won't have this kind of theory classes. Okay. Uh, there's a question from Aman. I'll answer this question. That I've joined this course just after completing my BTech in CSE, right? I'm mentioning this because I've noticed that most of the learners in this course are professionals with a lot of experience. Is this course beginner friendly enough for someone like me who has no prior work experience, or will it help me get in the placement, since I did not take part in the college placement because I decided to pursue a career in data science? Yes. So good question. Good question. Yes, this is good for you. This is a right course for you. And everyone everyone from every profession is welcome in this course, and you will have a good time learning. It'll be useful for you, provided you work with me. When I give you exercise, you work on those, and yes, rest will be sorted. Okay, this is probably the best course on internet. I can guarantee you that. All right. All right. Wonderful. The another question that comes in very often is, what exactly is AI? So AI is kind of, an objective, right? It's not like a tool, it's more like an objective. Okay. So it basically composed of everything. So you have hardware and software. Hardware has sensors and all the robotics stuff. That's hardware. On the other hand, you have software. Software is essentially uh, like hardware has chips and circuits, right? Circuits and sensors and all of that, right? Software is essentially a versatile version of hardware, because in case of hardware, if you have to do anything, you have to design a new chip, right? You have to when you have to make a logic, you have to design a new chip. In case of software, all you do is change the logic, and that's it. So software is a flexible version of hardware, right? Software is a flexible version of chip, okay? That electronic chip. So here you control the electricity by soldering things and so on. Here you control the electricity by using if-else statements and the loops, right? In software, there are two kind of software that we have. One is the place where we write the code, and there's another where the logic is inferred from the data. Logic is inferred from the data. Like the way we inferred the logic of X and Y, right? Between the relationship between X and Y from the data. Similarly, we infer that logic for everything using the data. Okay. This one, first one, requires the domain experts who have been in the domain, who have the knowledge. Like, for example, if you have to convert Fahrenheit into Celsius, you might just write might just write the formula by yourself. Could be another one whereby you have, let's say, pass two data points between which says that in Fahrenheit this much and in Celsius this much and so on. And then you do the y equals to mx plus c and figure out that correlation by yourself. That's machine learning, figuring out that logic by yourself. Okay? Figuring out the logic from the data, not by yourself. This one is here the rules and the logic is written by people. Here the logic is written by the machine based on the data. And then AI is a combination of all. So to achieve AI, we write the logic. We use the machine learning model to do the logic, and then we use the hardware to achieve things, right? And as part of machine learning, there is one sub branch of machine learning called deep learning. In deep learning, we have all all neural network or deep neural network algorithms as part of it. Okay. Essentially, deep learning is a part of machine learning whereby we study the artificial neural networks. Okay. All right. I hope this makes sense. Okay. Another thing that keeps on coming is ChatGPT AI? Yes. But AI is not, when somebody says AI, it doesn't only mean ChatGPT or GPT. Okay. So here another just a vocabulary upgrade for everyone. So ChatGPT or GPT are large language models by OpenAI. There are now Gemini and DeepSeek and quite a few other models. Okay. GPT means who can tell GPT the full form? Generative pre-trained transformers. Okay, that is GPT. Chat GPT is basically the same GPT but made for question answers. Okay, GPT is GPT is a model which takes a sentence and gives the next word suggestion. Okay, GPT is that. Okay, these models use deep learning techniques to generate human-like text. In recent years, they have done phenomenal in almost every natural language processing. Okay, this probably you would know better. You basically will talk in much more details. We will, as part of the course, we'll learn how to use these models, these things to do complex systems, how to build recommendation engines using the large language models, how would you build, using embeddings, do the sentiment analysis, a lot more. Okay. All of that you will probably study. Using these models, we will study as part of Python course, while building these models, we will learn it as part of the deep neural networks. Okay. Now, here is a typical workflow of building a machine learning model. Okay. This is the important part. Okay. Somehow, when people are all busy with AI only, people kind of are missing the point that underneath everything is still machine learning. Okay. So using the LLMs are just one part of AI. There's a lot more to it. Okay. Now, here's a general workflow in organizations. Think of how would Amazon give great recommendation, right? Or how would Airbnb give great recommendation for places? Or how would you build, let's say, even ChatGPT itself? Okay. So the typical workflow is that you gather data. To gather data, you use multiple computers and multiple machines, for which you use distributed computing systems or big data systems, such as HBase, Kafka, HDFS, databases, NoSQL. So you use all these tools to gather the data. Then you do the cleaning of the data. right? You do the cleaning of the data in the sense that you make it from unstructured. The unstructured means the data that doesn't have the tabular form. Okay, it's like a plain text files. You convert that to a tabular form. That's what we call it data cleaning. And then we do the basic data analysis using the tools. Then we train the models, and then we optimize the models. They optimize their performance, launch them in a distributed manner, and so on. And then we move that to production. Okay, so this is a typical workflow of a machine learning model deployment. Though in industry, everybody is usually like people have their work dedicated. Some people are focused here, some people are focused here, some people are focused here. But one must know the end-to-end process. One must know the end-to-end process. Okay. So there are quite a few careers available in machine learning. There's a machine learning engineer, data scientist, and researcher. The core understanding for machine learning engineer is your communication should be good. You should be comfortable with basic libraries. You should be good with maths. You should be good with machine learning concept. And we'll be focusing on almost everything like this. Okay. I think this part we don't need much. We'll discuss this again. Okay. Let's just go back, or maybe we can just give you a walkthrough. So if you're going for interviews, those who are going for interviews tomorrow or in some time, the usual process used to be the tech interviews. Earlier, people used to have coding questions. Now people are moving to the chat GPT. People are keeping the open chat GPT exercises. So these coding questions have become really complex now. It has become more like an engineering exercise. And then there's a tech interviews where there's a decent amount of coding, and then there are behavior like machine learning rounds, couple of machine learning rounds, and then behavioral, and then right screening is anyway there. So overall, the overall understanding of machine learning rounds is that your mathematical concept should be good because people would ask you a simple, very simple mathematical questions during the machine learning and statistics, probability, or calculus or linear algebra, either of these four buckets, the question people ask the questions. You may have like basic understanding of NumPy pandas, like the overall. People don't expect you to know exactly what functions, but you should know how to think of data as like a data set instead of you know I mean, how to think of that data as vectors rather than think of data as like one record at a time. Okay, so in machine learning overall, you should have a good concept of machine learning concepts, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, advanced machine learning concept like reinforcement learning and neural network. Okay, and further in supervised learning, you should know the models. Okay, the most important part is you should have a good understanding of the fundamentals of each of these. Okay, right? If you just memorize, let's say, the definition of clustering, that won't solve it because the questions that interviewer may ask is non-direct, indirect question where you have to figure out that, oh, clustering is needed. Okay, so that's why you should have very, very fundamental understanding of clustering. Okay, now, okay. Right. So good knowledge on ANN, CNN, RNN, and transformers and reinforcement learning. That's expected as part of the deep learning interviews. Okay. So that's where this course comes in, and this course is something that you've already enrolled for. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much, I think I've covered all the frequently asked questions already. So perfect. Wonderful. Feel free to ask questions. I would love to answer your questions. A question for Banshi is if it gets the system and game telemetry, then it becomes dangerous. No, I think, right? I think people should not worry about AI in general, okay? Because With respect to AI, right? Essentially, it's the way people are going to use these tools, right? These are tools. At the end of it, they are tools, right? Tools, the definition of tool and an individual is that tool does not fight for its survival, right? Animals fight for their survival, okay? But tools are in control of somebody, okay? Yeah. Question from Nilesh is, may I know about CloudX Love internship? Drop us a message and my team will get back to you. It'll be part-time, yes. Okay. Question from Mansi is that by dangerous, I mean that it gets human-like decision, that system is slow, so it has to press the key little early. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And yes. Are the sessions also happen in weekdays or only weekends? The sessions are only on weekends because almost everyone, including myself, is a working professional. Okay. So yeah. And weekends is something that you basically have to, you know, I know that you will have less party, yeah, but it's a good thing. Okay. But yeah, I mean, for those people who have families, it becomes a little bit more difficult, but you'll be able to manage. It'll be only like first couple of weeks you'll have difficulty, but afterwards, everything will be in place. Okay. So, okay, let me yeah, answer more questions. A question from Chandni is that do we need knowledge of full stack Python or only basics? Yeah. Yeah. So I think I would say that whether you had previous knowledge or not, don't worry, right? Course assumes that you are absolute beginner, and we basically do that. Okay. All right, Nilesh, I would love to have you in my internship. A question from Anubhav is, which jobs you think will be replaceable by AI? I think every job in which you basically, how should I say, where you don't apply extra, like, I think most of the existing information related jobs will be impacted by AI, most of them. Okay, most of them will be impacted. But when I say impacted, it doesn't mean that you're going to be job losses directly. It's just the jobs are changing, the face is changing. Earlier, people were pulling the cart by themselves, right? Remember before the the motorized vehicle came, people were pulling the carts, or before, let's say, animals were put in the carts. Before animals, we basically had people pulling the carts, correct? And then we got these animals such as the horses, which are trainable and which are commandable. And then they were pulling the carts, but humans were driving them, right? So we need drivers, not the cart pullers. And that's a big change. That's a big change. And that's why everyone must learn how to drive an AI. Okay? Drive an AI, invent an AI, control it, and all of that. So I think LLM is like invention of domestication, right? The way people figured out that they can domesticate horses and horses can be used to go faster. Similarly, we have got the AI which can do lots of information related job, way more faster, but still need somebody to command it. Okay, so you will like it. And this is a good question and hard question. So it would probably require much more time to answer, Anubhav. So a question from Ash is, are the sessions only on Sunday or they are going to be on Saturday and Sunday both? Okay. Is there a possibility of change of timing from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. instead of 8 to 10? Okay. It's going to be very hard for many people who are in PST. Okay. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. will become right now this course is 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 for the people in US. And if you move it to 6 p.m., that'll be 2 hours before. That'll be 5:30 a.m. They'll become 5:30 a.m. for them. That'll be too early. Okay. So at most we can just move it by half an hour. Okay. Maybe let's say 7:30 p.m. IST, which will be, yeah, but not more than that. It'll be very difficult for many people. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Gautam. All right. Thank you for that understanding. With, okay. A question from Gautam is that even though AI will take jobs, how does data confidentiality and security aspect has been addressed during this change? Yes, a lot of work needs to be done on security and confidentiality. Okay, a lot of work need to be done. A lot of inventions need to be made. Like for example, my the software company that I'm building called Turno. Turno is essentially primarily a security layer. Okay, and that's why so it is going to be a lot of work. There's a lot of every aspects need to be thought through. Like for example, earlier people kept one login for the web application to talk to the database, and then the databases had only like one or two logins in general, and the people were okay because most of the code that interacts with databases was written by humans. But now most of that code is written by the AI. So there's a need of different security layers. Okay. Need of different security layers. So that's what is going to be a big change. There are a couple of questions. A question from Aman, do I need to learn anything separately before starting the course? No, just go to CloudX Lab, click on My Courses. You will see the courses. You start there. Okay, you start there. Next session, we are going to start with basics of Python. So make sure that you are all comfortable with basics of Python. Okay, so all right. A question from Sally, do we have any percent course completion criteria before that I think my team will communicate that EICT usually IIT Roorkee usually tells that the completion criteria for the certificate, so they will guide you. Okay. Question from Puneet is +1 to time change request. I'm in SGT. It's past midnight here. Oh, okay. You are in Singapore, Puneet? Okay. All right. It'll be very difficult. I can try moving it like half an hour early. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we'll see that. Okay. All right. So we'll see what is good for you. And yeah. A question from Aman, will I get help in resume building, LinkedIn optimization, mock interviews? Yeah, we can have like mock interview sessions. Okay, we'll help you out with the rest of the resume building and other things. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, I think what you should do is, all right, if you are, looking to improve your resume, just apply for CloudX Lab internship. I mean, Turno internship, not CloudX Lab, Turno internship. And yeah, my team will send you the details. Yeah, Tejveer, you can send the details about the internship at Turno. And then, okay,
Sure.
all right. And also the percentage completion part that you have to inform them about the percentage completion. All right. Yes, Anubhav, go ahead. You could feel free to unmute. You can unmute. Okay. Yeah. So Chandni's question is, can you speak more about CloudX Lab internship? It's not CloudX Lab internship. It's my for the company called Turno, which I've recently started. So you will get an internship from Turno if you're doing well. Okay. So yeah. A question from Gautam is funny question. Can AI replace work from office to work from home completely? Okay. Yes. I think it's not that's a hard question to answer, Gautam. Yes. All right.
Hello.
Yes, Anubhav, go ahead.
Do you think 4 day work week is possible if in future like AI will becoming more?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I think the work week and the definition of work is a function of economy and economics, right? Even yeah, I think it's a economy problem, not the tools problem or the engineering problem. Even if we invent anything, I'm not sure how it will work. I can't say. Yeah. Okay. A question from Chandni is, where is Turno located? Turno is located all around. My all both the companies are all around, like in Canada, US, and India. And but you can do the internship from online. You don't need to really come to office. All my engineers are located in their hometowns, though we have an office, dedicated office in Bangalore, in HSR, but nobody goes to office. Nobody likes to go to office. Everybody works from home. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. So thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful week ahead. No more questions. We can hang up. All right. So, Anubhav, your question is still unanswered, and I would say that we will answer it some other time. It'll be hard. It is a hard question, and honestly, I'm not an expert at it. All right. All right. There is one more question I can see. Okay. Thank you, Anubhav. Wonderful. Wonderful set of questions, and great to see all of you in this session. I'm looking forward to see you in the next class. Okay. In next class, we'll start from basics, something as basic as number system and basic maths. Okay. So yeah. And log in the meantime, log into your LMS, go to my courses, and start going through the Python course. Okay? Make yourself super comfortable with it. Okay? I'm looking forward to see you next week. And yeah, there's a question from Aman. Um, yeah, we'll be doing 34 plus real world project in one capstone. That's correct. That's right, Aman, because there are lots of things, lots of projects in the this thing in the LMS. Okay? And these projects will be mostly from the real industry, and you'll be working on individual projects, not in teams. In teams, nobody learns. In teams, in past, whenever we have given projects in as a group, nobody does anything. So every project will be individual. Okay. What is the level of complexity of capstone project? It is up to you which one you choose. So you'll be able to manage it. Trust me, don't worry. Okay. Will we have a proper guidance and feedback on the project? Of course. Okay. And will these projects be enough to showcase in my portfolio? Yes, that's right. Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye. All right. Thank you, everyone. Okay.